So you wanted to know about SPY and ES and all these other contracts. So we could talk quickly about that. So basically, so the S&Ps is basically SPY, okay? And then you have SPX, which is basically about 10 times that. And then ES, that's the futures. So basically the ES contract, we're trading the ES, and the ES is saying it's the December contract we're trading right now. So they're saying what is ES, what is SPY, what is the SPOOs, what are they going to be by the end of December? Okay, so that's the bets they're making. Now, where SPY is what is the price today, and SPX is what's the price today. The futures are sometimes 3 months into advance, and that's why you have the big gap between them. And as they get closer to expiration, that gap gets smaller, because now, like, if we're at December 20th, then it's not hard to imagine what it's going to be by the end of December, because there's so little time left. When we're 3 months away, then there's much more speculation. So they're speculating, with everything that's going to happen in between, where do they think we're going to end up with? Now, what you have to remember is that people trading SPY and SPX, they're watching the futures and they're saying, oh, the futures are going up, so we probably want to go up too. And people trading the ES, they're watching SPY and they're like, oh, SPY just dropped. Okay, we should discount that as well. So it's completely different market. They're traded completely separately, but they're watching each other, and so they're definitely impacting each other. And like Chris is saying, sometimes when you see a sudden drop in one, it may foreshadow what's going to happen in the other market, because they're looking at each other. I know that's probably not the best answer, but did that help a little bit? There's someone else that wanted to add to that?
Out.
Yeah, so it's a future date. I mean, so usually they move together, but they're not they're not guaranteed to move together because it's a separate market.
Right. Yeah. So that's what some are looking at, because you rate ES, or you have the skinny levels high on it.
So
Sometimes they're not in sync.
sure, and yeah, I mean, so we talked about how you can recreate them, and I mean, personally, I prefer watching ES, but it's not about the levels, because we have an indicator that maps them. But ES is higher volume than SPY, SPX is higher volume than SPY too. So even though they don't move together, they seem to be working well for me. I mean, I can create a secondary chart that looks exactly the same way, but use SPY. So for people that want to use SPY instead of ES, so I'll do that. So I'll give you a separate link if you want to watch that, and then see which one works better.
That's fine.
Because I mean, I don't.
Sorry.
There might be times where one worked better than the other one. I mean, so VIX is built for SPY, so VIX is likely going to work better with SPY and SPX than what it works with ES. But so I'll have both, and then you guys can watch them both, or just watch the one you prefer. And then so over time we'll figure out which one really works better. So like I say, VIX was built for SPY, so technically it's going to be better fit. But SPY has much less volume than ES, and so ES has more volume. So I think I like it better, but I'll probably keep both open as well, just so I can get different views on the problem.
Definitely. I do have a different.
Yep.
I just want to see what I
Yeah.
just want to learn what you are like getting out. Yes. Well, sometimes does that action that it's a certain level, yes, that helps in a trade. That's all. I do have SPY on a different. I want to learn. I want to see what you.
That's right.
That I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, so I don't really look at SPY much. I look at ES, and then I look at SPX. The thing I don't like about SPX is that it doesn't have any pre-market volume. Okay, so like the EMA clouds are in completely different places, and so it's not very useful to me. SPY has EMA clouds that work well. So I think it's you want to watch either SPY or ES. SPX is nice volume, but the EMA clouds don't line up. So because basically I only get into trades around the 48 EMA. Okay, so I wait until I see a reaction at 48 EMA, and I want to see a confirmation. So yesterday we went up, we came down, we bounced off the 48 EMA. So I was able to add at that spot. But right now I'm only trading that, and it seems to work well. So it's like if so I wait for EMA cloud interaction. Do we bounce? Do we reject? Whatever we do, and so I use that as my entry. And so from that perspective, it doesn't really matter whether it's SPY or ES, because when ES bounces and you have a nice bounce, then SPY pretty much follows, because you're not going to have a strong move in ES and SPY is not going to follow. I think. I haven't seen it. I don't. So I might be wrong, but I believe that if there's a strong move in ES, SPY is gonna move with it. Maybe not immediately, but it's not gonna take long for it to move. So I'm looking for those strong moves off the 48 EMA, and because it has way more volume than SPY, it works better for me, because that's all I look at. It's like interaction with the 3448 EMA cloud. Okay, if I see a strong move, then I get into SPX. If it approaches it, I stay away. So I won't get into puts if I'm approaching it, because I want to wait for the bounce. And if it bounces, I get into calls. If it goes through it, I want to see it come back up and retest it from the bottom. And then if it rejects, then I get into puts. So my whole strategy is around that 3448 EMA clouds. They don't work on SPX where there's volume. They work on SPY, but there's not so much as much volume. So that's why I use ES, but I'm gonna make two charts so I can watch them side by side and just get a better opinion on your question, because it's a good question. I'm not sure which one will ultimately work well or better, but ES works pretty well.
Just the terminology. Yeah, it is future, so I think that okay. Higher, I think ultimately, but I don't know what the time gap is and what, because I have this you only, so sometimes it's not insane. It's some I wasn't watching, confused a bit sometimes, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I think a little bit of very well what
No,
but
it's
yeah,
no,
I do
it's good. I'm
I
glad
do
you asked. Yeah. So I'll get you another link here as soon as we're done. I'll create second chart and replace ES with SPY, and then you can use that one instead. And I'm gonna
oh
have both
that's
open
no problem.
because I want to see the difference, because I haven't really looked at both of them, so that would be a good exercise.
Yeah, like right now on 2 minutes, ESS is stuck and pretty much going red right now. So
Okay,
sometimes I
so
get
if you
confused.
refresh that chart, I have ES on one side and SPY on the other side. Yeah, so
One
just
second, I'll
refresh it.
refresh.
And I mean, so it
Yeah.
looks a lot alike to me. But yeah, no, sorry, I messed up. That's because I messed up.
But no,
Let's
there's
try
ES
again.
on both
Yeah, okay, refresh now.
sides. Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this.
Hmm?
So I'm trying to see how different they are, because I mean, so to me they look a lot alike.
They do, like the pattern. If you see the pattern, yeah, you can see the pattern. We grind.
Yeah, that's what I focus on, is really the pattern. And
Mhm.
yeah, like I said, I'll create a second chart so that you can. 'Cause
See, like right now, ES is going up with the four,
no, it's not going up.
and C.
You have delayed data then. So so you have to pay for real time data on ES. Okay, so I think that's the problem. Um, so you'll see up top left, you'll see an orange D. Do you see an orange D? So where ES is, look at the top left where the
Yeah.
name is. You're gonna see an orange D for delayed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, so you have delayed data because in mine, I'll show you mine. They look exactly the same. If you're not paying for real time, so you have to pay extra for futures data, real time data.
Oh, okay. So for future specific,
Yeah, and so that's why they look different to you. But that's a reason to have two
okay.
charts, so because if you don't want to pay for futures real time data, um,
Oh,
but okay, yeah, we solved the problem, and that's why,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
And you'll see at the top left where it shows the name, there's an orange D for delayed. So it tells you, if you hover over it, it will tell you that it's delayed. Oh no, that's fine.
I'll figure it out. Figure it out.
Yeah. So okay. So I'll give you a second chart because I mean, if you don't have to pay for futures data. But they move pretty much as far as I can tell. They're pretty much the same. Um, but I get a little bit better because there's higher volume. The indicators work better with higher volume. So that's why I use
Oh,
that.
okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I have Spy on a different screen. That's okay.
No, I'm gonna do two charts because it's easy to do. I mean, it's not a problem. Um, so if you don't pay for futures data, it's gonna be delayed by 15 minutes. So then don't use it because you are gonna get confused because they're not gonna move the same because it's delayed by 15 minutes. And if you go over the candle, you look at the time, it should show you like right now it's 11:02, but if you do it, it should show. I'm not sure if it's going to show what time it will show, but I hope that it shows minus 15 minutes. So if you put your mouse over the candle on ES, what time does it say? You there? Okay, I think we lost her. Any? I think she had to take a phone call. Any other questions, guys?
Sorry, I had to.
Oh, no problem. I figured.
Right. Another question. Purple got it.
Yes.
So
No. Do you guys see my screen?
I do.
Okay. So on the left I have ES, on the right I have SPY. You can see they move exactly the same because I don't
Oh,
because I have real time data on ES. But if you look at the time here, it says 11:04. If you do it, it's
yes.
probably gonna be before 11 a.m. on yours. Okay. That's right. Because your data is delayed by 15 minutes.
Yep.
So you have to pay like it's less than $5 a month. But the thing is, I mean, there's no need for you to pay that extra money if you're not going to use it. So I'm gonna just have create another chart with SPY, and then you can use that. Um, but yeah, so okay, so a few things. So we have so if you look at this, so we have a trend change, and then we have a
Yeah.
trend break. So basically, so a trend break. So basically, what I do is if you look at the bottom right, these are remember these are the higher time frames, and we should always look at those, and we forget. Okay, the bottom part of it on the 2, 3, 5, 10, etc. That's the EMA clouds. Are they bullish or bearish? And then above it is the super trend. Okay, if it's green, if it's red, bullish, bearish, and how long have it been bullish on the 5-minute super trend? Okay, so the way it works is if you have a, a bearish super trend on 3 minutes plus, and suddenly immediately it switches to a bullish super trend on the 3 minutes, then I'd say trend change. Okay. So you can see here's a trend change. So we go here from it flips, and then you can see that you don't really get much out of it. But so like anything, it's not guaranteed. But so a trend changes, it flips on the 3 minute, it flips from one extreme to the other extreme. And you can see it happened this morning. It happened here and here. Okay, you can see on SPY it only happened there. Okay, so the indicators are slightly different with it. But so if I have a trend change, that's a very important event. Now, if you're above the EMA clouds like we are here, I mean, so you can see that so you could have made a little bit of money there. So I'm just going to turn off these interactions. Let me just see where they down around blue type of it. Okay, so if I uncheck that, it will, because I put a lot of excess through here, so you cannot see what's going on, because I don't want you to trade at the 34, 48 EMA cloud. Okay, so if I do that, are you gonna? Okay, so it's just reloading. Okay, so you can see that when we had this trend change, you can see. I'm just gonna, if you move it. Oh, so it's in the front. So what you see here, we got it here, and you made a little bit of money, but then we flipped back again, and then you could have made money here as well, because this is on the 3 minute super trend. It flips from one extreme to the other extreme, and it happens. So it doesn't happen often. So when it happens, chances are good that you can play that in that direction. But when you're above this EMA cloud, you don't want to play puts because you're above it. Okay, so you should know to ignore that, because you're above it. You're still bullish. You have to break below it and then retest from the bottom and then reject, and then you're bearish. So you want to play this one. Okay, now a trend break is almost similar but not the same. The trend break says that I had a bullish super trend on the 3 minutes, and then suddenly it broke. It didn't flip to the other side, but it broke. Okay, so it went from bullish super trend to no trend. Okay, so this, you could have a turn as well, but many times it just breaks and then it chops a little bit and then it gets back into that trend again. Okay, so that's the trend change and the trend break. So on the 5 minutes, so if it was red, if you had a red super trend, so above that 5, if you had a red number, and then suddenly it changed to a green number in an instant. Okay, because most of the time, it takes time for the trend to change. So then the 2 minute cleans out, then the 3 minutes. So the trend change is like it flips pretty much on one candle. So if you're on the 1 minute chart, it flips in 1 minute. If you're on the 2 minute chart, it flips within 2 minutes. So it's a very fast move. And when you have moves that fast, I mean, obviously they could be fake outs, but many times, there's some momentum behind them. So that's what that says. It says that I have had a complete trend change on the 3 minute super trend from one extreme to the other extreme. Trend break said I had a super trend and now it's gone on the 3 minute. Okay, so I don't flip to the other side, but it's gone now. So is it gonna come back? I don't know. So that might mean we're gonna have a little bit of chop. It might mean it might come back. It might mean it turns. So at least when that happens, you want to get out of your trade, because you're like, okay, I'm losing my trend. What does that mean? Is it going to come back? Is it going to stay away? What's going to happen? So it's more, so the trend break is more like, warning for you, wait and see a little bit. Where trend change, many times, you could play these, but it's like anything, you want to make sure that you have stops, and if it doesn't work out, stop out. So any more questions on these two labels? Yes. Okay. I mean, so you can see them side by side, and they look exactly the same. Okay. Um, so I don't. So the difference is not that big. I wouldn't pay for it. If you have it, that's fine. But I mean, I'd like where I can go back to ES and I can see what it did overnight, so I can get a better feel for the behavior of it. And obviously, you can do that with delayed data as well. But I just like ES because it trades longer. But I mean, during the day, it's pretty much. I mean, you can see it here. It's pretty much the same thing. So I wouldn't. Like I said, I'm gonna make a second chart here, and I mean, let's quickly do it. So I'm gonna just um, make a copy, and I'm gonna just say spy because I'm great with names. Um, and then so we'll have a new chart. We'll put spy on the left, and we can get okay. We can keep the Mancini levels, and then I like TXY on that side.
Hey guys, just
Sorry, say it again.
we just dropped a 40.
Okay, so I'm gonna share this, copy the link. Let me just paste it into by 6. Okay, so there's your link. So that is now the same thing, but this was spy on the left hand side. Okay, yeah, and so we're still a little bit away from the 48 EMA. So because that's around 423.13. Actually, it's the bottom one, 422.92. So yeah, so I mean, so either one really works. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I prefer ES because I can go back and see what it did overnight, and you can get some levels from there as well. But the clouds are pretty much the same for both of them. It's a little different, like you could see here, but I wouldn't pay for it if you don't already have it. And then obviously, if you take the Mancini levels and we put it on the SPY side, it's gonna roll them in the same spots. Let's quickly put it on here as well. Okay, so it's already there. Oh, I put it in the wrong one. I should put it. I should put it under my scripts and then go in there. So you can see that I mean, so when you put the Mancini levels in on SPY with our Mancini plugin, it will paint them at the right spots. It will do all the math for you, so you don't have to think about it. Okay. So it doesn't matter. You can see there's the pre-market low. So I mean, so pretty much even all the levels are pretty much very similar on both sides. So it works equally as well, I think. Okay, let's talk about the danger zone. Okay. So this purple cloud here is basically the the 8 EMA. Okay. and the one line is on the 1 minute and or 2 minute, depending on what chart you're on, and then the other one is on 5 minutes. Okay, so I prefer it on the 2 minute. So basically, this is the, we talked about this before as the babysitter EMA. It keeps you in the trade. So and then Money for Life also mentioned, I think on Friday, that's what someone she knows uses as a stop loss. So basically, this is drawing the 8 EMA on the 2 minute and the 5 minute. And so if you're above it, basically you're safe. You're basically in a trend. I mean, now when I say trend, it's not like a trend day that happens, occasionally. Like SPY down here, we're below it. So SPY right here is trending. So while it's staying below this purple danger zone, it's moving down. While ES or SPY is staying above it, it's like a short trend, strong move. Okay, so as long as it stays above it, the idea is that you can hold onto your runners. Okay, but as soon as it gets into the danger zone, now you got to ask some questions and say, okay, am I going to stop out? And it's going to depend on how deep in the money you are. But so if you'll see many times you'll come in and then you go back up. You'll come in, go back up. Okay. So if you break below it, then basically, okay, trade's over. Okay. Now you always want to take profit or partial profits on big candles because you'll get more money. So you don't want to wait until you break down here before you get out. This is only for runners. I mean, when you have a strong move like that, you want to lock in most of your profits, keep one runner, and as long as you stay above this purple danger zone, you can keep your runner. As soon as you go into it, you can decide, do I cut it or do I wait until I go below it? That's up to you. Now, you'll notice that this purple cloud, sometimes it has a nice outline and sometimes it doesn't. So basically, with the outline, to make it more visible, I do that when we have a super trend going on the 3 or 5 minute chart. I don't remember. But basically, if we're in a super trend, you'll see the outlines on it. If you see no outline, then we're not in a trend, super trend. When we keep chopping through it, we're chopping. So if you go back and forth through it, you're chopping. So we're above this EMA cloud, but we're going back and forth. Stay away until you have some. I mean, so look at this. So here's a nice bounce of the 48 EMA. So, good place to get in. This is close enough to the 48 EMA cloud to bounce, so you can get back in as long as you stay above it. You have a trend going on the 5 minutes, so you can hold your runners. But you want to lock in. So when you get in because of this bounce, you want to lock in most of your profits. But do keep a runner as long as you stay above this cloud. Now, if the top band changes from green to blue, then you could cut your runner as well. But it's still in trend. Fall into it, fall below it, deals, trades over. Okay, so when you have a hard time cutting, make sure if you cut through this purple danger zone, you definitely want to get out when you get to the bottom of it. Now, you could wait for a candle close if you want, but I mean, whatever strategy you use, make sure your green trade doesn't go red. Okay. So now we come back. So let's look at this. So I'm going to change this back to Dixie. I'm going to remove this. So let's talk about it. So now we're at the 48 EMA, okay, cloud. And we can see Dixie is bouncing. Do you get in shorts? No. I mean, you can do whatever you want. But I want to see reaction here because it could just as easily bounce up here. If it bounces, I'm in calls. Okay. If it goes below it, you can take a chance. You can take puts if you want, but now you're buying on a strong red candle, so you're going to overpay. You're chasing. If you get in now, you're chasing. What I want to see is I want to see it go down. I want it to come back up, test the 48 EMA, and then reject from it. That's where I want to get in. I want to see that rejection because right now, this is a no trade. Plus, look at the VIX down here. So VIX is only now getting to its 48 EMA clouds. Okay. So I want VIX on the opposite side. I want VIX on top of this and this guy below it before I'm going to do any puts. So puts, no go for me. I mean, this, calls are still more probable for me because VIX is still below your. We're still not on this side, but I mean, you don't want to trade here because right now they're both testing their clouds, and there's no need to chase it. You want to wait for that resolution to see what's gonna happen, and there will be plenty of time to get it. I mean, let's go look at yesterday. And I mean that's where SPY is nicer because you don't have to move back so far. But if we go back to yesterday, what's that? That was 23rd. Okay. Okay, that was 2 p.m. Let's see. So we were here. Let's zoom in. So look at this. So we were at the 48 EMA, so we came down, we tested it, we bounced. So look at all the time you have to get in. Now you get to the bottom, you don't have confirmation. So if you get into puts here, you would have lost money. Okay. So wait for that confirmation. Yellow triangle, above it, I'm in. Get there, bounce, come down here. Look at this retest. You see this green candle there? Look at that retest rejecting there. Boom, puts. Okay. Then so I mean everything. Go ahead.
Rick, can you go back to the candle where you were talking about the rejection?
Yes.
So a big drop on the red candle that breaks through the cloud, then a small green one, then the next red one. So would you enter on the next red one, or you would have entered on the green one, or you would have waited for another one?
I mean, it's hard to say. What I find is that the longer you wait, the better the probability that you're right. Because look at this purple cloud. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit to answer your question. So you see here, it retests and rejects, but there's no trend. You see that? So if you get in here, it's risky because you don't have a trend. Okay. Here, you get a retest, but you have a trend. So this is a safer entry because the purple cloud tells me that. And you could have seen it if you look at the higher time frames here. You would have seen it year 2, but I mean, it's hard sometimes for us to look at all these different things, so I tried to make it as simple as possible. But so as soon as you see the outline here, you're below it, this is where it now becomes safer to get in. So you get below it, you see the trend forming, boom. Anywhere around here is really the best place to get in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because you can see here there was a little bit of a trend, but I mean you get here, and so if you got in here, obviously you had to stop out right away because you're right. And that's the other thing that's nice about this cloud is that, let's say you got in here because this looked like a retest and a fail. you would have stopped out immediately because your trend went away, and you're on the other side of the cloud. So it's better if this purple cloud is below the 48 EMA if you're gonna want to play it. While it's above it, it's more risky. So if this purple cloud is below the thing you're testing, it's safer as well. Where here it's above it, so it's not as safe. It's not a good entry to get in here. So if you waited for this to get below the 48 cloud and you have a trend, you have a retest, you could get in. And now you can see we're staying below it. Here we break above it. So the question is, do you get out? And or do you just move your stops up? You can see that there was a little bit more money you could make from it, but you don't have to get the best price. You want to play by rules, so you get in your huge candle, so you gotta lock in most of your profits. If you have a big candle, it doesn't matter if it's still gonna run $1 million. You gotta lock in most of your profits. Okay, and then you keep a runner, and when the runner gets here, you can decide, do I get out? It's such a big candle. I wouldn't be upset if you cut everything. Because when you have these big candles, many times, they're retested and they come back. So, but yeah, so if you kept the runner, you would have made less money here than if you sold everything here, but you don't know that. And then if you kept your runner until here, you probably would have made the same money as if you sold it there on that big candle, because the prices are so inflated on big candles. Well, here was another big candle, so maybe this would have made you a little bit more. But in this case, a runner would have not made you more money. Okay. But
Exactly.
so but you never know that. But if you get a big one, you guys have to start practicing runners. So if you're below the purple EMA cloud, it has an outline, and your inputs, you have to start practicing one runner, even if you don't make more money, because you're never gonna make a lot of money in this trade if you don't keep runners. Okay. So I would argue that you lock in most of your profits, keep a runner with a stop, so you can never lose money, and then you just learn how to do it.
Can we look at the live action right now?
Sure.
So even though the purple clouds have the boundary or the dark purple line, we rejected the pre-market high. We're below the cloud.
But look at VIX. VIX is not telling you it's a good idea to get in yet.
Exactly. So you could bounce anytime. So we need the confirmation from VIX to break above the cloud.
It depends on how safe you want to play it. Okay. So you can get into puts here, and you can get lucky. Okay. I'm not very lucky when it comes to trading. I've learned that by losing a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm not lucky either. My luck doesn't work.
That's right. So I wouldn't get in here into puts. I want to see what VIX does. Because VIX could just reject here. And if it rejects, trust me, this is going up. But when I look at Dixie here, so look at Dixie. So Dixie is above the purple cloud. It's in a trend. Look at all of this. So Dixie probably wants to go higher. So you see these red candles, but it's because you had a huge green candle. So it's just gonna re-auction this. But this looks like it wants to go up. You had a big candle. You come back halfway, big up. So if I look at the Dixie price action, it's telling me it wants to go higher. If this want to go higher, VIX will probably break out and this will probably break down. So, I mean, if you want to do a lot, though, you could get a put right now. I mean, it's still not safe, but, I mean, when I look at Dixie, I think getting one put is, could make you a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you want to be safer, you're going to wait until, VIX
Breaks.
gets to the other side. And it would be nicer if it goes up and come down and retest it and then go up. And then you can play bigger. I mean, and that's the thing. I see what I told you. Look, there it goes. Because I could see these
Right.
big candles, and you never trust big candles. But then it comes back halfway, so it doesn't give everything back. And then I have a big candle come back halfway. Big candle come back halfway. So this is telling me that this is gonna go up all day, and we will probably see a trend down day based. If Dixie keeps doing what it's doing here, we're gonna see a trend down day. But I mean, you don't know. So you come up with a thesis and you say, okay, I'm making a play. If this changes, I'm stopping out, because you just cannot know, because VIX is still not on the right side of the 48 EMA. But if this keeps going, this is going to push VIX up. That if VIX goes up, you're going to then, SPY and ES will go down. So this. So yeah, so that's how I look at it. But you're at a pivot point here where it could go either way. But I'm reading it as we're going to see more red on SPY based on what. Now I haven't looked at TLT and TNX and all these other things, so they might tell a different story. But if I just look at Dixie right now, I'm seeing puts on SPY, but it's still a little early, so it's more like a lotto. Does anyone else want to add something here? And then obviously, if VIX gets and stays outside of this upper band, then you have a strong move, and then you should absolutely keep a runner.
Yeah.
So let's watch it a little bit, just so we can read the price action together. And you can see, I mean, VIX is really, I mean, it's really finding resistance here. It's just not budging, and that's what I love about these EMA clouds. I mean, I really wait for them to get there and see how they react to know, what trade to take. I mean, and you you can see tons of fake outs, so you shouldn't be chasing it. You should be proactive, because if you get into puts now, you're chasing it, But look at VIX here. I mean, so I gave you my theory, and we're doing this live, so you could, so I cannot tell you after the fact what I did, because that's always too easy. But so we're watching this to see what it does, and I'm not. If I look at these big candles and retest it, I'm not. So this red candle doesn't tell me it's going down, because I just look at the price action today. This is just retesting it, so I still see it go up. So which means that I see VIX go up, which means I see this go down. So I still, the price action, it's still, Dixie is still above the green line. It's still above the purple cloud. So this is still acting bullish. It's not breaking into the purple cloud. So this is, Now, if it starts breaking into it, things can change, but here you can see VIX is starting to break above the upper band. And now it could totally reject you at the 48 EMA, but you know, that's why I like to wait for it to go through, go up, come back, test from the other side, go up. That's the safest time to enter. Now, because there's plenty of fake outs. So when you get in early, you're not you're going to see money, take money, so you're not going to you're not going to hold runners unless you see unless everything still looks good, then you hold runners. But if you get in early, you got to stop out if it doesn't work. So that's why I like to see the retest, and then it's safer, and then you get a strong move, and then you can hold longer and play bigger.
Right.
So let's watch it a little bit. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes to see what it's going to do here, and that's the thing. It's like you have to have patience. But so
yeah, it's more important.
Exactly. So I don't like what Dixie's doing here, but it's not over yet, because we're not, these yellow dots, the trend dots, it's still above it. But if I had puts, I know they're in profit because I took them there, so I would lock in some profits, because I don't like this, but it's still not over because this is normal price action. So while you see normal price action, the trade is not over, but these things can move so fast. So you see here now it goes up, and it's normal price action, and that's why there's always a chance to get in. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to chase it. Every time I chase, I lose money. It still happens. Every time I chase, I still. It's just like, it's not funny. It's like there's. Yeah, I've learned that I cannot be late to a trade. There's always a chance to get in, but I can be early and lose money. You never want to be early. That's because that's where you get faked out. Now, if you get in early, that's fine. Just play super small, one contract, scalp. But it's. I don't like doing it because we build bad habits. But it's whatever works for you guys.
Yeah.
Because you want to try and get into the A+ setups where you can hold runners, where you're gonna make bigger numbers instead of just see money, take money.
Yeah. So that could make even the week's worth profit. That I would be even okay doing that.
But that's the thing. If you're going to wait for the right setup, you're gonna wait way more money. Like, I want to see VIX get outside of the green band and stay there before I get into puts.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like I said, it could still reject your. It can go up and still go down and not bounce. Because that's just the way it is. But for me, I want to see it on this side. I want to see it stay outside of it. I want to see it flames like it had yesterday, but it was opposite direction. And then now
question.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but so when you have it stay outside of the bands with flames, now you've seen how long those things sometimes last. So those are safer trades to get into, and then you make more money. Where here, I look at the price action and I'm like, okay, this looks to me like Dixie wants to go up, which means that VIX will go up, which means that puts is a good idea here, but there's still a lot that can change because we're not, it's not an A+ setup yet. I just read the the price action and tell you what I'm seeing, but it can change at any point.
Right. So the way the purple cloud is, and I just see that on VIX, I think from the last 5 candles, 3, 4, 5, we see the super trend, the purple line, the cloud, right?
Yep.
That makes it super trend. That means it's a strong trend for the VIX in that direction.
Yes, but I mean we're at a very important level.
Yes.
So levels are more important than anything else. So levels first, then everything else.
Okay.
So none of this matters if you're at an important level. That's why that's why I wait. I mean, go back, do yourself a favor, take the indicator, go back every day on SPY, and look at every time we got to the 3448 EMA clouds. Go look at it, see how it behaved. See when, because this is what you have to practice. Go back, look at it, look at the interaction, learn when you can draw conclusions. Say, okay, this looks like a strong bounce now or a strong rejection, and go use this chart so that you can see VIX too, because VIX, like I say, VIX is a clue here. The VIX is not giving me permission to play puts. Okay, and now VIX is saying, okay, we're turning, and that's the thing, because they're on the same side. I don't trust it yet. You could do scalps. Like if you got in there where we talked about it, you could have paid decent money going to the open, but it's not an A+ setup. But go back, take this chart, go back in time, go look at it, and I think you'll find that that's where all the good trades begin. And so if you could learn to wait for, resolution, am I going up from there? Am I going down? You're going to have much better trades. And forget Tesla, forget Nvidia, forget all this other stuff. Just work on just SPY or and trade either SPY or SPX. But yeah, like I say, it could take 20 minutes, 30 minutes before we'll know what's going to happen. Because you can see Dixie, I mean, it hasn't given up. The higher time frames are still bullish. We're still holding above this. And even if we break below the purple cloud, it doesn't mean it's over. If you have a trade, that trade might be over for now, like take profits, but it might just come back because you have such a strong daily move here. So it's gonna take a lot of work to break this to the downside. So I mean, it's more likely that it will keep going up. But look at the higher time frames. If they don't break down, it's still bullish until they change.
Right.
And so VIX is breaking down, which means that's pushing up. So we still don't know. It could still go either way. But if you see VIX with a clear rejection this way, that's when it's safer to get in. But you want to see a clear move on both of these in opposite directions from the 48 cloud, and those are the safer trades. I mean, you could do anything and get lucky, but they go out of their way to fake you out. So now this guy, so Dixie's below the purple cloud. I mean, you can wait for it to close below it. I mean, some people wait for candle closes. But I mean, pretty much at this point, you're like, okay, Dixie is breaking. It looks like it's breaking down. Right now it is, but it
Yeah.
could change 2 minutes from now. So you gotta know these things move fast. So this goes down, that goes up. So now if I look at so if I look at, and you can see here, I mean, so I told you about the trend break. So VIX was in a downtrend, and then you got a trend break, and guess what happens? Boom. So when you got this, you could have said, okay, I have a yellow triangle, I have a trend break. There I go. Okay, so if you played that here, so you would have been able to get inputs over here already. But again,
That
you're
sides with
playing
the
you're
trend
playing
break
against the
on the
trend. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that coincides with the trend break on the downside on that notification on SPY.
On mine, it's a little before then. But
Mine perfectly coincides with the. But I
okay,
only have one trend break on, because you're okay. You have ES. I have
that's right.
this. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
exactly.
SPY.
I'm not looking at SPY.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. The indicator, gives you different results because of the volume that's different, but the price action is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So I use ES because it's got more volume, but I mean sometimes SPY gives you better reads. It's it's hard. But yeah. So I mean, so now again, we're not out of the woods yet because we're still here. We still don't know what it wants to do because it could still reject right there. And I mean and right now the VWAP is at the 48 EMA as well, which makes it an even stronger indicator of what's going to happen. And so I'm thinking, I mean, when I look at this, it's breaking down, but I mean Dixie is so strong. So it's hard to say, but you see, they move in the same direction, so you cannot trust them.
Right.
But
Yeah, yours.
go ahead.
My VWAP is a little bit higher from the EMA cloud because I'm looking at SPY.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think that's where a little bit of
That's
gaps.
exactly because so now this is SPY now, and that's because ES has overnight data, so your VWAP comes a much longer way, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
So the price action is the same, but but those things are different because you don't have the same history and the same volume. So that's why I prefer that. But you have to pay for real-time data to get that.
Right.
Okay, so Dixie looks like it's giving up. So I'm thinking we might SPY might break to the upside now. But again, it's not a good spot to get in because you're at the clouds. Anything can happen. I want to see a strong move. I want to see ideally a retest from the top. And the same here. So this is not a good time to get in. You want to just sit on your hands and see what happens. And see, look now, SPY fell down, VIX is down, so you cannot trust it. So someone's lying, okay? Someone's lying.
Yeah.
And many times when you have such a strong move on SPY, I say SPY, but yes, they're doing stop picks here. So this is actually bullish. That big red candle, that is bullish in my mind because this is where all the noobs get in. This is where all the people without experience chases it. Okay, so that big fast move, that's bullish most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay, because you stop pick them, and now it becomes, if it keeps moving up, it becomes a failed breakdown. Okay, Now, if it doesn't keep moving up, then it's, not a failed breakdown. But we're waiting for VIX to join the party and tells us what's going to happen. So if this fails breakdown, it keeps going up. But so the fact that this candle is now below this one doesn't make it as clean. So it doesn't look like a failed breakdown, because a failed breakdown, you have this long wick, but then the next candle is above it, and this candle is not above it. So this doesn't look like, so that makes it more bearish, because this could keep going down. So if you have a long wick at the bottom, you want to see the next candle above it if there's any hope of a failed breakdown. And failed breakdowns and failed breakouts are good ones to play, because they trap a lot of people that get in, and then you squeeze them out. But yeah, so this candle below that one is bearish. But let's see what VIX does.
Yeah.
VIX, you see, the thing is, VIX is going down. So they're moving the same direction. So someone's lying. So so when you get to that, sometimes it's better to go to like the 5-minute chart or the 10-minute chart, because when it's this choppy, it's best to stay away. But if you want to have like a better idea of what's going on, you can zoom out a little bit more, and sometimes get a better idea of what's going on, because now, because this is just one candle, so this might become a failed breakdown, because the next candle might open above it, where on the 2-minute it didn't happen yet. But look at VIX breaking. Yeah, so if this becomes a failed breakdown, then this might be a strong move to the upside, because of the people you trapped there. So VIX is saying we're going up. This guy is still undecided because we're below it, but this looks like possible failed breakdown in the making. So we might see a strong move up here to the upside. And then, ideally you go up, you come back, retest it, and then you have a strong run to the upside. But you can see this guy giving up, Dixie giving up a little bit. So, if we go... So if you look at the 10-minute candles, so this is Dixie now in 10 minutes. So you have a lower high and you have a lower low now. So this is telling me this looks like a trend change, because here you have a higher high, a higher low, but now you have lower high and a lower low. So that's, so if you want to quickly look at what the trend is doing, you look at the 10-minute. 30 minutes is better. It depends on what you're trying to do, but so this is telling me that it's wanting to go down at this point. But you see, ES is going down, everything's going down, so someone's lying, and that's why we're waiting, because we want to. So see, this looked like it might be a failed breakdown, but it's not. So this might actually trap the bulls that thought that it's a failed breakdown, and then getting in to play the upside, and now we're gonna dump. So when you get people trapped, those are the better plays, because once they're trapped and there's a strong push, they get squeezed out, and you can do better. But yeah, honestly, this is just chop. This is just chop.
Yeah, right now it's just very choppy.
Yep. But yeah, it's good. It's good to look at the price action and what does it tell you? Does it, what does it look like? And then so there was a trend break. So we had a bullish trend, and now it's breaking blue triangle. So yeah, so VIX clearly wants down, which means that we want. So yes, one's up, but there's this huge obstacle, the 48 cloud and the VWAP. So until it, and then the next obstacle is a pre-market high, and then you have the Mancini resistance level. So I mean, unless it can get above these, calls are not good to play, because you have these obstacles. Puts are not good to play because you don't get bearish at the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, so there's just no good play right now that I can see. Scalping is different, obviously, but that's
Yeah.
a bad habit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all the time that you. I was just so busy over the weekend, totally out of all of this, away from charts.
Yeah, no,
So
totally, no, totally. No, I understand. So hopefully this helps. But I mean, so the purple clouds are really gonna help you
yeah,
hold runners longer.
right, right.
So because that's like, okay, if this happens, I'm out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so because like I said, you really have to practice runners, but obviously if you don't have an outline on the purple cloud, you don't hold a runner because you're not, um,
In a trend, yeah.
yeah, and so that's the rule. If they're faded, no runners, just sell everything. If
Mm-hmm.
there's so hopefully that I know that Vic was saying that it's helped him yesterday to hold his runners longer. Um, he still didn't hold it as long as he wanted, but just the fact that he was able to hold it longer and make more money, that's already a good
Yeah.
first step. So that's the whole idea with
Mm-hmm.
with that. But yeah,
No,
so
I
you could
definitely see it.
so you
Great
could
addition on a trend.
exactly. So you can see you're on Dixie. So that's a blue triangle. It's faded like that until the candle
Yeah.
closes, so that you can see it's in the making. And then as soon as the candle closes, but so this obviously, like I said, we're below the purple. We could see on the higher time frames, super trends breaking down. Um, blue triangle soon. So this goes down. This has already confirmed going down. So we saw this possible push before it happened. And I mean, and that's what's so
Yeah.
nice about it. I mean, you see it. It's like here, blue triangle, uptrend breaks.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
breaks. So you're like, okay,
Right.
this should not be a surprise. So as soon as you see those things, you can like, okay, I'm gonna get one call because it's not a done deal yet because I'm still
Mm-hmm.
here. But then as soon as I see it break above it, I can get another call. If I get a retest, I can get another 2 or 3. And that's how you do it. It's like when you see more and more things, you can add to it, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then you can do better. But like this is pulling back now, but you should be holding right here because like okay, that's fine because everything else is still telling the same story. Now you might be wrong, okay, and then you stop out, but this is probably just them stop hunting and trying to trap more people before they go up. But I mean, so VIX has a little bit of a bounce here, but that's fine. That's normal action. You can see it go down on the 1 minute and then green candle,
Yeah.
and down. So you so that's why you want to start charts as much as possible because you got to know what's normal price action and what's not. Okay, so this is normal price action. Um, and at some point it will become not normal. Okay, but so
Mm-hmm.
this is still normal. This is strong move down. Um, now, so when there's normal price action, the trade is not over yet. Now, obviously, if you get nervous, you can stop out, but that's fine. But we have a trend break here. We're still in no man's land. Now,
Yeah.
if VIX suddenly bounces up, then obviously the trade's over. But this is telling me to stay in your calls, okay? And so the thing is, so you have to look at these things and say, okay, I'm getting nervous because it's turning against me. But are there other things telling me to get out? Because price action alone shouldn't stop you out, because that's how they constantly do this game. So if you just stop out because you're afraid, you're never gonna make money. Okay, so you have to look at this and say, is this normal? When is the trade over? Like, so VIX is still acting normal for a downtrend. This is still normal for a downtrend. So, if you're, and because, and this is the other thing I didn't mention, is because we're at the VWAP, we're at the 48 EMA, when you had this big, strong candle, because obviously it was green at some point here, you should have locked in a lot of your profits because you had a strong candle and you're at these critical pivots where you want to lock in profit sooner because you're not out of the woods yet. So if you got in here or here, so if you got in here because VIX told you to, you should have definitely locked in most of your profits on this candle. And I mean, again, if you didn't want to keep a runner, that would have been fine too, because you're at this pivot level where anything could still happen. But I would, if I still had a runner, I would still hold on to it until. So this is bouncing a little bit. So that's a red flag. This is still going down. Now, so you want to have a stop loss because this is still normal price action for going down. So it could just do this and then keep going down. But it could also bounce because it's been strong all day long. When something is this strong, it's a bad idea to play counter trend. But but this is still normal action. It could still go down. So yeah. So hopefully, if you got calls here, and you get it, even this strong candle, that strong candle, you gotta lock in most of your profits. Always. And then you make most of your money with runners, but you lock in your profits early on so that you cannot lose money anymore. And then some days the runners make you rich, and some days they don't, but you don't lose money.
Yeah.
So a little bit of sideways action here on VIX. We're still at the below the VWAP, so it could still go either way. VIX is popping a little bit. So so this would make me nervous if I was in a trade. Exactly. It's just chop. That's why I'm done for today. But you're right here. VIX is telling you to get out. You could see that.
Yeah.
So if you had any kind of trade, if you weren't puts, like you took your profits up there and you kept the runner, this should tell you to cut that runner. And your runner would have had a stop loss anyways, so you could never lose money. But yeah, so this is just chop. And it's not uncommon to wait half an hour to get resolution at these clouds. And then you'll know what to do. Yeah. And then you have the strong move, and then that's when you get in. That's when you make money. But so this yeah, I mean, this could go either way. It's been strong all day long, so it won't be a surprise if it goes back up. Just like when we have a trend day, we don't fight the trend. It could change, but you want to see big candles on VIX to play, a trend change.
Mm-hmm. With lunch hour as well.
Yeah, like I say, I mean,
Same.
so we had some
Sure.
opportunities here to scalp, but again, I don't think that's worth it, because if you just wait for a strong move, you're gonna make way more money than scalping. But yeah, I mean, so if you get early on these things, so you have this one and that one, you could have played puts counter trend, big profits here. I mean, it's not safe at all. But I mean, these things tell you what's happening a lot of times before it happens. I mean, you can see here, you can see trend change, trend break. But again, counter trend, it's not safe. And so this trend break, this was on a big candle, so you never want to get into puts on a big candle. So this one was easy to ignore. Okay. This trend break, look, this happened on a very small candle. So that one was a little bit safer to play. But yeah, it's just chop. It's not worth your time. But right now, VIX wants to go up because we don't have resolution here. We're at the clouds, and until they both agree, it's not safe. So with SPY, you can see it's pretty much the same thing. It looks slightly different, but the VWAP is the big thing. And because there's so much more volume on ES, the VWAP on ES is much more important. They're both important. Don't get me wrong, but I play, and honestly, you should look at both, because I mean, when you get to SPY VWAP, you should be careful as well. Yeah, so if I look at VIX alone, then it looks like it wants to go up. But it's not enough of a move. Well, good. Any other questions?
It's for today.
Okay, so you have both links, so you can look at SPY or ES, whichever one works for you.
I'll save both of them.
Thanks, Britt.
Okay, thanks guys. Hopefully that helped, and good luck. I'm done for the day, so this is just too much job for me.